I'm Grace, this is Kevin, we are the stories.
We are comparing Kenyan and American culture to see what's different, but also what's similar.
Today.
Culture shock!
Today I'm gonna talk about some of the culture shocks I found while working in New York.
So you worked in an office building, one of those tall office buildings in New York City.
Yeah, so I was working for an international German bank. It was a private bank, not the usual commercial banks you see. There was no teller. It was at the top floor of the building.
Oh, what number floor was it?
22nd. There were a number of culture shocks that I think I should talk about.
Let's get to it.
Dress code. So the first thing, when I got to the bank, I was formally dressed. I thought you wear a suit, have your hair all combed and, And then I get there, I'm seeing people in jeans and, casual clothes. And I'm like, am I in the right place? Mostly khaki trousers, khaki pants, as you call them.
Oh, there's a lot of khakis.
Yeah.
Would you say people in general dress more casually in America than they do in Kenya?
Yes. So for me, casual is t-shirt and just jeans or I don't know what they're called, sweatpants.
Sweatpants, sure.
Yeah, those. And you wear those just, over the weekend when you're not going to work. Acronyms.
So what's an acronym for people who may not know?
Acronym is having, using the first letter of words. For example, CAT for Continuous Assessment Test.
Oh.
I noticed that there were so many acronyms being used where I was working, and I would get so confused, and you have to pretend that you know what the person is telling you about. So someone comes, oh, did you finish for example, CAT or ACT, whatnot? And I'm like, yes. And then I go to the toilet to try searching on Google what that is.
I think of the movie Office Space. I don't know if you've ever seen that. The boss is always coming around with his mug, and he's like, did you turn in those TPS reports?
Printing paper sizes. So another thing I came to notice was that I would at times be given the task to print some of the reports, and I had to change the formatting in the American way. It's different from what other countries do. The
standard paper size is the A sizes, right? So you have A1, A2, A3,
yes.
A4. And A4 is the closest to what we have in America, what's called letter size. And I think the way it works is that A4 is slightly longer and narrower than letter size. Letter size is a little fatter and shorter.
Floors in a building. On the other parts of the world, people include all the number of floors. Here in New York, where I was working, there's no 13th floor.
Right. When you walk into an elevator and you look at all the buttons,
yes,
the number 13 is missing.
I think someone said it's related to bad luck or something.
There is a 13th floor. It's not like they just skip a whole chunk of the building and they put nothing in it.
It's a floating building.
It's just that they call the 13th floor the 14th floor.
And also, the rest of the world has ground floor, and then counting from first floor. Here, the ground floor is the first floor.
Whereas in most of the world, what you're saying is there's a ground floor, and then the next one up is first floor.
Yes. Public holidays.
Public holidays. So wait, we have a lot of them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I'm going to compare especially with the UK. In the UK, I think in total, including Easter, less than 5 the whole year.
Really?
Actually 4, yeah.
Now, when you say public holidays, what you mean is a holiday where businesses are closed.
Yes. Here in America, there's so many.
So there's New Year's, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, there's President's Day, Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's only 10. Now, in Kenya, I learned that you have 12.
Yeah.
Public holidays.
Relaxed rules. So I noticed that compared especially to the UK, you could cheat a bit with the timing. If, say, you're meant to be back at work after lunch at 2 o'clock, you can go back at 2:10, 2:15, it's fine. So in the UK, that wasn't allowed. If anything, they would deduct your hourly wage from that.
Oh.
So if you're late even for 2 minutes, they take 15 minutes off.
Wow.
So.
Well, I'll tell you, that's not always the case in the U.S., actually. I was working a retail job once, and you had to be on time. You couldn't clock out a couple minutes early. You couldn't clock in a couple minutes late. So I think it depends on where you're working. It sounds to me like, in an odd twist of fate, the Germans might be a little more relaxed than we all think.
Kenyans are more relaxed. Like, you can be in an office, just take 2 hours off and come back. Sick days. So also compared to Kenya and the UK, I found that it was more easier to just call in at work and say, oh, I'm not coming in because I don't feel well. And they'll be like, okay. Other places, you must follow up with a doctor's letter to show why you're sick and whatnot. Vacation. In Kenya, we call them leaves. Or in the UK, holidays. So there were not so many vacation days. Like, I was only given 10 in a year. If someone like me, I had to travel back to Kenya to see my family, like 10 days wasn't enough, or, So, yeah.
Right. And you end up having to put those vacation days onto days that are public holidays and onto weekends.
Yeah.
So that you get these longer trips.
Yes.
But yeah, in many places, I don't know what it's like in the UK. Some countries give you up to like 4 weeks of vacation. Yeah,
so it depends on the numbers of hours you put into work. So if you put more, I can't quite remember, but I think if you do 1 week, that's 40 hours in a week, it counts for a day towards your vacation. Summer Fridays. During summer, we'd leave work at 2:30 instead of 5 every Friday, Summer Friday. For 3 months we did that. That was amazing. So it meant you had longer weekends, and never saw this anywhere else. So.
Yeah, I don't know if they do it throughout the country or not, but it's definitely a thing in New York City.
Co-worker relationships.
Co-worker?
Co-worker. Colleagues. How colleagues relate. Yes. Start speaking in Swahili. We were taught on how to interact with our colleagues at work. I'd never experienced anything like that. And from that, I came to learn that you don't just talk whatever you want to someone, because someone might take offense on it,
Perhaps there's more of a divide between your professional life and your personal life, and people don't like to mix the two.
Recycling.
Recycling was a culture shock?
Yes, it is. I mean, in Kenya, we just mix everything in one bin. They're very strict with what goes where. Paper goes in this bin, plastic goes in this bin, food in this bin, and each had like labels. And I think the company would be given a fine if things were mixed up. So they're very strict on that.
Kenya has a plastic bag ban. They're really big into conservation, lots of national parks. Is there no recycling in Kenya?
No, not really. I think we don't have the machines to recycle things.
Is recycling interesting to anyone there? Because I think, honestly, somebody could make a business.
Yeah.
Somebody could definitely make a business out of doing recycling in Kenya. Turning plastic, reusing plastics in certain ways, reusing paper. We actually, in school, we were taught how to recycle paper. Like, it's something that you can just do. Look, if there is no recycling in Kenya, and you're like an entrepreneur or something, you're looking for something to do, look into recycling. I think you'll find something there, for sure. That's my little pitch. Tell them Kevin sent you.
Oh my God.
Well, if you're somebody who has traveled to the US to work and you have your own culture shock stories, go ahead and drop those in the comments, or you can find us on social media. All the relevant links are below in the description. You'll also find a link to my Patreon, where you can become a supporter and access all sorts of sweet perks, such as some behind-the-scenes footage, bloopers. I also have a level for teachers. I have a level for people who like music. And you'll also catch up on all of my new projects as they come out.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, be sure to subscribe.
Don't you want to see more of our faces? Well, maybe not more of mine. This is a nice face, though.
Maybe, well, you have a nice face. Okay, don't do that. That's shocking.
Shocking. Well, until next time, kwaheri.
Bye.
Always family first. While others may be rich of pocket, we